After 3 days of persistent decline, stock prices marginally rebounded Thursday on the Lagos floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange to put the prime indicators on new high, just as the shareholders of Beggar Paints plc are to receive a dividend of 75 kobo per share. When the closing bell finally sounded, the number of gainers for the day stood at 18 as against 16 losers. This propelled the market capitalization to 9.370 trillion naira, up from its opening level of 9.307 trillion naira, and the all-share index 27,284.83 points as against 27,009.18 of the previous day. Out of the 182.68 million shares transacted in 3,631 deals as the volume of business for the day, the financial service sector tops the activities chart with 128.58 million shares. As for price movement, Unity Bank rose by 9.09% to the top gainers group by wrapping up at 1 naira 20 kobo. Nestle and Total followed with 8.98% and 4.99% to close at 825 naira and 173.6 naira per share respectively. The duo of NEM and DN Mayer jacked up their values by 4.55% and 4.40% to rise to 92 kobo and 95 kobo respectively. On the losers chart, Red Star Express fell by 4.99% to drop to 4 naira per share. Cadbury and Honeywell plunged by 4.98% and 2.94% to drop to 18 naira 51 kobo and 1 naira 65 kobo respectively. Other top losers were AGU Leventis and Cement Company of Northern Nigeria (CCNN) that witnessed 2.17% and 1.96% decline to close at 90 kobo and 7 naira respectively. Some foreign stories to come after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Officials say significant gains have been made by Libyan government air, sea and land forces fighting to recapture the central city of Sirte from the Islamic State. Forces allied to the Tripoli government assert they now have the upper hand. Warplanes bombed IS positions in Sirte while naval forces fired missiles into key areas including the port that are held by the militants, officials say. The battle for the city began last month but has recently intensified. Libya still has rival regional administrations and armed forces in the east and west of the country, with each battling extremist militants in their territories. The forces spearheading the advance on Sirte are the Tripoli-based UN-backed Government of National Accord (GNA). President Barack Obama has officially endorsed Hillary Clinton as the Democratic Party presidential nominee. His endorsement came after meeting Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who has been battling Mrs. Clinton for the nomination. Speaking in a video tweeted out by Mrs. Clinton, Mr. Obama said she may be the most qualified person ever for the role of president. Leading liberal politician Elizabeth Warren also endorsed Mrs. Clinton. President Obama and Mrs. Clinton are set to start campaigning together soon. The two ran against one another for the Democratic nomination in 2008, and Mr. Obama later made Mrs. Clinton Secretary of State. Speaking to Reuters following the endorsement, Mrs. Clinton said, "Mr. Obama's endorsement means the world." In a sleekly produced video endorsement, the president has shown his support behind Hillary Clinton's bid to keep the White House in Democratic hands. Mr. Obama and Mrs. Clinton will make their first joint appearance today together in Wisconsin next week. Before that, she's visiting Ohio and Pennsylvania. Israel has deployed hundreds of additional troops to the occupied West Bank in response to an attack that killed 4 people at a popular Tel Aviv night spot. The Israeli military announced on Thursday that it was deploying 2 additional battalions to the West Bank in accordance with situation assessments. The deployment involving hundreds of troops include soldiers from infantry and special forces units. The announcement coincided with a meeting of Israel's security cabinet to discuss further responses. Earlier on Thursday, defense officials suspended tens of thousands of special permits given to Palestinians to visit Israel during the current Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Kogat, an Israel defense body, said 83,000 permits for Palestinians in the West Bank to visit relatives in Israel had been frozen. Kogat said special Ramadan permits were also suspended for Palestinians in the Gaza Strip to visit relatives in Israel, travel abroad and attend prayers at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. We now join Mine Orishamone for sports update.